Mr. President, last night, Senate Democrats continued their smear campaign against Judge Brett Kavanaugh.
Senator Hatch accuses the Democrats of a smear campaign against the current Supreme Court nominee.
Clean air and careless accidents, the controversy of scooting around Salt Lake City.
Relief is in sight for drivers. Construction on University Parkway is finally coming to an end. Welcome to Newsline. It's September 25th, and I'm Allison Caffrey.
I'm Danny Hallows. Utah Senator Orrin Hatch is defending Supreme Court Justice nominee Brett Kavanaugh.
Hatch says that the allegation against Kavanaugh are the efforts of the Democrats to stop his confirmation to the Supreme Court.
Senate Democrats will stop at nothing to prevent Judge Kavanaugh's confirmation.
Hatch made the comments to the Senate yesterday. He went on to say that Democrats continued their smear campaign against Kavanaugh with an article that had no legitimate eyewitnesses. He also says that Democrats gave the story to the media first instead of taking it to the committee investigators.
As the Senate Judiciary Committee prepares to hear testimony from Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh and one of his accusers, protesters are making their voices heard.
Kavanaugh has got to go.
A group gathered in Berkeley, California to support both women who have made sexual allegations against Kavanaugh. A group called By Any Means Necessary, also known as BAM, hosted a rally on the UC Berkeley campus on Monday. Kavanaugh's hearing is scheduled for Thursday. Protesters say they'll reconvene then to hold another rally.
President Trump took center stage at the United Nations General Assembly this morning. He emphasized sovereignty at the year's largest gathering of world leaders. Karen Kaifa is at the United Nations and has the story.
President Trump delivering a central message to the United Nations General Assembly. He's putting America first.
America will never apologize for protecting its citizens.
Trump emphasized sovereignty as a useful avenue for progress.
The United States will not tell you how to live or work or worship. We only ask that you honor our sovereignty in return.
His message underscored by decisions to withdraw the U.S. from several multinational agreements, including the Paris Accord and the UN Human Rights Council. The president defended his decisions, many that put him at odds with key U.S. allies, including the decision to pull out of the Obama-era Iran nuclear deal.
We cannot allow the world's leading sponsor of terrorism to possess the planet's most dangerous weapons. We ask all nations to isolate Iran's regime as long as its aggression continues.
The president's speech coming less than 24 hours after he signed a new U.S.-South Korean trade deal, also as the U.S. and China hit each other with their most expensive round of tariffs yet.
I have great respect and affection for my friend, President Xi, but I have made clear our trade imbalance is just not acceptable.
Trump striking a notably different tone on North Korea than last year's address, where he threatened to, quote, totally destroy North Korea. This year, Trump spoke of a possible follow-up summit with Kim after their historic first meeting in June.
Since that meeting, we have already seen a number of encouraging measures, though much work remains to be done.
At the United Nations, I'm Karen Kaifa.
A woman died after she was hit by a car in Taylorsville last night. The crash happened at 8 p.m. on 1463 West Taylorsville Expressway. Police pronounced the woman dead on the scene. They say it appears she was trying to cross the road when she was hit. There is not a crosswalk in the area. Police urge people to always be cautious when crossing the street in the dark.
A 14-year-old boy was shot and killed by a stray bullet in Rich County. The teen, Zachary Kempke from Ogden, was riding in the backseat of a vehicle when the bullet hit him on Sunday. The stray bullet came from a group that was target shooting in a remote area of the Monte Cristo mountain range. Kempke was a 9th grader at North Ogden Junior High. Funeral arrangements for the teen have not yet been announced.
Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke is in favor of a bill that would establish a fund to pay for maintenance projects at national parks. Yesterday, he was in Utah to visit Zion National Park with Utah representatives. Zion's needs $68 million to make improvements in the park, like protecting wildlife and improving other services like bathrooms and campgrounds. National parks in Utah need an estimated $266 million in upgrades.
Rentable dockless scooters have arrived in Salt Lake City, and those scooters are creating controversy.
A Newsline reporter, Christina Bolianos, went to Salt Lake to figure out what's going on. Christina, what exactly is the problem?
These rentable electric scooters seem to be getting many around town in no time. Yet a few people have voiced their concerns about the scooters causing careless incidents and not being regulated. I talked to a few people in Salt Lake City who gave me two different points of views on it. Take a look. You'll see countless of people riding them everywhere downtown. The new rentable e-scooters are the new addition to the different kinds of transportation in the city, and many people seem to love them. The scooters arrived in Salt Lake City end of June of this year, with the intention of being an eco-friendly alternative to cars and an efficient way to get people to places.
It's easy for people to get around, and they're faster and without polluting the air.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea for people to get around faster.
You can grab one off the street at almost any time of day, and all you need in order to access one is a driver's license, a cell phone, and a special application. The new rentable scooters can reach speeds up to 50 miles per hour and have a range of about 50 miles on a single charge. Riders are charged $1 to have access to the scooters, plus 15 cents per minute of use. But not everyone has the same perspective on the scooters. Until July 20th, the companies Bird and Lime did not have a set license agreement with the city. This has caused a lot of tension between the companies and the public.
I have seen some broken scooters on the street.
They're a clutter for the city and not very necessary.
Scooters can also pose a danger to pedestrians.
Now, the safety agreement between the scooter companies in Salt Lake City is not very concrete. Citizens continue to have different opinions on the topic, and while many don't know what is going to happen to them, others continue to enjoy the ride. Back to you.
Thanks, Christina.
Firefighters in Utah County are making progress in containing the Pole Creek and Bald Mountain fires. The Pole Creek fire is burning 101,400 acres. It is 41% contained. The Bald Mountain fire has charred 8,500 acres. It is 33% contained. Many evacuees returned to their homes on Saturday, but people who live in Covered Bridge and Right Fork Cobble Creek are still waiting to go back to their homes.
The Utah Transit Authority plans to finish paving University Parkway for the Utah Valley Express project by this Thursday. Project construction began back in fall of 2016 in preparation for the new specialized UVX buses. And while the buses are already running, the designated bus lanes and stops are still under construction.
I feel like it's just like a maze and I feel like a lot of accidents happen, so it's not very fun.
Right now, there is a nighttime restriction on University Parkway between 550 West and State Street from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. Only one lane is going to be open during those times. The entire project should be completed by spring of 2019, and it comes with a price tag of $190 million.
Tonight, Provo City Council is having a meeting to decide whether or not to place a $69 million bond on the November ballot. The money from the proposed bond will go to renovating the Provo City building. If approved, property taxes will increase.
We've run out of space for the number of employees we have, which of course have grown with Provo's population growing. This building is almost 50 years old. The bond to build it was passed 50 years ago. Since that time, Provo's population has more than doubled.
The meeting will be held at 5:30 p.m. at the Provo City Council building. People who live in Provo can watch a live stream of the meeting on YouTube.
Today is National Voter Registration Day. Here in Utah and all across the country, events are being held to encourage people to vote. Ever since this day was first observed in 2012, it has grown in popularity. Millions of Americans miss their chance to vote every year because they didn't get registered in time. If you still need to register, go to nationalvoterregistrationday.org for more information.
It's the day of reckoning for Bill Cosby. Find out what the judge said about the sexual predator who was once America's favorite dad.
The Instagram co-founders are stepping away from the company. We'll tell you why.
And a fire truck gets stuck in the mud. How this emergency vehicle was saved from its own emergency.
listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high-five.
Pope Francis has addressed the Catholic Church sex abuse crisis. He made the comments to a group of young people in Estonia on the last day of his Baltic tour. He said he understands that young people are, quote, upset by sexual and economic scandals that do not meet with clear condemnation. He also said that the church will need to change. The Pope returns to Rome this evening.
According to a new Gallup poll, Republicans are enjoying their highest favorability rating among voters in more than 7 years. Just under half of all Americans, 45%, say they have a favorable view of the GOP. That's up 9 points from last year. Democrats are just 1 point behind with a 44% favorability rating.
The founders of Instagram are stepping down. Kevin Systrom and Mike Krieger started the popular app in 2010. They sold it to Facebook for $1 billion just 2 years later, but they kept working for the company. Now the duo wants to step back and focus on something new. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg says he looks forward to what they will build next.
Set the air brakes and everything got out, and that's when the back end sunk.
The rescuers needed to be rescued. A crane had to come and pull a Denver fire truck out of a sinkhole. The crew was responding to a water main break when part of their 100,000-pound fire truck sunk into the ground. Luckily, no one was hurt, and the crane was able to save the truck.
It's Suicide Awareness Month.
So I would just say don't vote against the precious gift of life.
What people are doing to raise awareness.
And a stolen antique doll worth $7,000 is found. We'll tell you how police recovered the pricey play toy.
Plus devastation across the Carolinas as floodwaters continue to rise following Hurricane Florence. I'll tell you what areas are expected to be hit next and the new threats and evacuations.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Why don't you ever see elephants hiding in trees? Because they're really good at it. Yeah, I get it. Testing. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy.
Bill Cosby will learn today if he will spend time behind bars.
Camilla Bernal is in Norristown, Pennsylvania to give us the update.
Judgment Day, Bill Cosby walking into court with the very real possibility that he may be walking out in handcuffs. The 81-year-old, known for decades as America's dad, now awaits a decision that could cost him the rest of his life behind bars. It's his final chance to make his case after he was convicted in April of drugging and sexually assaulting Andrea Constant in 2004. Before he's sentenced, the judge will decide whether or not to label Cosby as a sexually violent predator. That would require him to register with state police and attend sex offender counseling for the rest of his life. Prosecutors are calling for Cosby to serve 5 to 10 years, warning he's dangerous, shown no remorse, and likely to reoffend. Cosby's lawyers argue that he's blind and the only danger to Cosby is himself. They're asking for Cosby to be sentenced to house arrest. For his accusers, it's about a punishment fit for the crime.
We don't think he should be released on probation under house arrest. We don't think he should be able to post bail. We think it's time for him to go to prison. As I've said, Judgment Day is upon us.
We actually just got a breaking news update on his sentencing.
They're looking at 3 to 10 years in state prison for Bill Cosby. And now police have arrested 2 people accused of stealing antiques from a downtown Provo shop, including a valuable porcelain doll. Police say the doll was stolen on August 31st. 2 weeks later, a man and woman from Lehigh returned to the shop trying to sell a number of antique items, including the doll. Police arrested 37-year-old Michael Cummings and 36-year-old Kimberly Gribben. The store has decided to make their shop more secure.
New security measures are a big good thing. New cameras and.
Cummings and Gribben were reportedly in possession of many stolen antiques worth more than $100,000. The porcelain doll alone is worth nearly $7,000. The pair were booked at Utah County Jail for felony theft.
People across the state are coming together to raise awareness for Suicide Prevention Month. Hopelessness and fear are just a few emotions that people who experience suicidal thoughts feel. The month of September is dedicated to increasing suicide prevention. Awareness meetings and support groups are just some of the things that people are doing. Motivational speaker Ganelin Condi spoke at a reach out meeting on Sunday at the Crosspoint Church in Provo.
So if someone is listening to this right now and they are struggling, first of all, you are never alone. I know it feels that way, and I know you're tired, but we will not be better without you.
The Center for Disease Control says 45,000 people committed suicide in 2016. Those rates rose more than 35% from 1999. Learning the science for suicide is one way that friends and family can help to prevent it. Helplines are also readily accessible by simply searching suicide on Google. A new edition of BYU's local newspaper is also on stands right now.
Camille Baker, editor-in-chief of The Universe, joins us now. Camille, one of the stories in The Universe this week is about UVU's new president.
Yeah, so Astra Jimenez became the 7th and first female president of Utah Valley University. A 24-member presidential search committee consisting of members of the Utah State Board of Regents, the UVU Board of Trustees, UVU faculty and staff, and community and alumni representatives chose Jimenez from a pool of 41 national and international applicants, according to a UVU news release. She is originally from the Philippines, but overcame poverty to graduate from BYU, Harvard, and MIT.
Wow, she sounds like an accomplished woman.
Yes. So cool. Yeah, I also heard there's another story in the paper about a humanities pre-med club, which seems a little odd of a pairing.
Yeah, so medical health and liberal arts may seem like 2 incompatible fields, but the 2 disciplines work well for aspiring medical professionals in the newly formed BYU Medical Humanities Club. Joint Club Vice President Adam Brantley said studying liberal arts with science courses can help students move forward in the health industry.
Seems like an unlikely pairing, but if it works for them, that's awesome.
That is.
Thanks for joining us, Camille. Where can we find more stories from The Universe?
So the newspapers are on the racks all around BYU campus, but you can also go to universe.byu.edu to find our stories online.
We will keep our eyes peeled.